Hi, I'm Carl Pritchard with today's Good Question. Today's Good Question is all about sequencing. It's all about putting things in the right order. And a significant chunk of your exam will involve questions that ask you to put information in the right order. This is actually derived from Part 2 of the Guide to the PMBOK, something a lot of people skip over because they think it's simply a rerun of Part 1. It's not. It's the order or the sequencing of all the steps in PMI's PMBOK processes. The work breakdown structure was already built. Now you're ready to talk about the detailed work to produce those deliverables. Once that's done, the next step should be create a stakeholder engagement plan, get your finger on the pulse of the contract and build a good relationship with the contracts officer, track and report on project progress, conduct the process of sending changes through the change control process? Good question. Well, the key is first to establish just where are we in the PMBOK processes. We already have a WBS, and now we're ready to talk about the detailed work to produce those deliverables. The detailed work to produce those deliverables. Oh, that's to actually generate activities, to actually detail what are the activities, which are broken out from the work packages of the WBS. But where are we now? We're out to schedule management. And not only are we in schedule management, but we are basically trying to identify what activities have to be done. That's a planning step. Remember, initiate, plan, execute, control, and close. Planning. That's the second step in the process. So what will we do next? Create a stakeholder engagement plan. That's way out in stakeholder engagement, so that's a little ways down the pike in the PMBOK. That's the far, far end of the PMBOK. But creating a stakeholder engagement plan is a planning step. So if there are no other planning steps, that's looking pretty darned good right now. Get your finger on the pulse of the contract and build a good relationship with the contracts officer. That's in procurement, but that's actually happening in monitoring and controlling. And that's a little bit further down the line. Track and report project progress. That's also monitoring and controlling. Send changes through the change control process. Also monitoring and controlling. So where does that leave us? That leaves us with 2 in the planning stages. 1 very early in the planning stages, 1 very late in the planning stages. Oh, what do you know? We may already have our right answer. They all happen after we've established our activity list. But the question is, what would you do next? Well, we've got 4 answers that all happen after. So which of the 4 happens first? Out of the 4 answers, A, B, C, and D, which of the 4 happens first? Well, that's going to be that whole stakeholder engagement plan. The rest of them, they're all happening much later in monitoring and controlling. So the only other one that's still in planning, but at the far, far end of planning, is that stakeholder engagement plan. So the right answer, the stakeholder engagement plan. This question was derived out of the sequentially card game. That's right, it helps you get down the initiate, plan, execute, control, and close, and put things in their proper order. You can check that sucker out on eBay. The key here, know the sequence. It's all about the PMBOK guide. Know page 25, and Roman numeral 10 gives you the sequence for the entire PMBOK in the index pages for Part 2 of the Guide to the PMBOK. We're hosting free PMP Prep study groups once a month virtually, once a month live here in Frederick, Maryland. Got any questions, any concerns? Pop me an email. I don't care if you're not from Frederick. I don't care if you're from Belgium. It'd be great. Pop me an email. We train a lot of PMP Prep. We'd love to do it for you. Got any questions? Give us a shout. Otherwise, check in for tomorrow's Good Question.